Thank you for tuning in to this episode of WestEdge Wednesday. These are all the programs and talks from the main stage, the theater at the WestEdge Design Fair 2025, on a stage that was presented by Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home, a Best Buy company, an incredible partner who brought in Best Buy and Geek Squad and one of their partners in Hisense to help Kim Gordon of Kim Gordon Designs create an incredible stage, really an experience for which to have these conversations. And if you want to see what it looked like, check out this very same episode on YouTube. But if you're in the car and you can't watch anything, then here you go. You can listen. This program you're about to hear today, absolutely incredible. Creative Burnout, the rules for surviving, thriving, and evolving in chaotic times. So basically, here's the idea. Design professionals face intense pressure from deadlines, market changes, and the need to innovate while balancing business, client, and personal demands. Listen, the stress often leads to burnout and depletion, and we've all felt a little bit of that this year, have we not? This session offers actionable strategies to build resilience, spark creativity, and foster growth. It's designed to help all designers refuel their energy, stay inspired, and thrive despite the chaos, which, by the way, started in earnest in 2025 and shows no signs of letting up in 2026. This program is moderated by Shannon Ratcliffe and features Sarah Ackberry, Jen Feldman, Kim Gordon, Rachel Moriarty, and Mike Ufferman. Just incredible. And if you want to learn more about these creatives, check the show notes for details on each. And sit back and enjoy this conversation right after this. This was the second year that Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home, a Best Buy company, sponsored and presented the theater at the WestEdge Design Fair. So appreciative to them. In addition to everything that they do for sponsorship, they also brought in partner Best Buy, partner Geek Squad, Hisense, and made possible a video wall to Kim Gordon's design that just, it made it pop. And I think that it's so important to understand that the most important word in design today is service. You know, product is important, price is important, selection is important, but service, stellar service, makes all the difference in the world. And if you're a designer, if you're in the trade, Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home has a simply remarkable trade program. Their Pro Rewards program, which is a trade-up program unlike any you've ever experienced before. You have a chance to earn 3% in Best Buy e-gift cards or 2.5% in a reward check for every qualified and delivered sale, in addition to trade pricing, exclusive offers, access to exclusive special events, so much more. I can't even tell you everything here. So make sure to check them out. Thank you, Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home, for your sponsorship and partnership at the WestEdge Design Fair this year and for presenting WestEdge Wednesdays, which you're about to hear right now.
So welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm honored to be the moderator of this panel. My name is Shannon Ratcliffe. I've had the pleasure of listening to these folks and getting to know them a little bit. And this is a topic that's really close to home for me. A little bit about me, my business is called Curated Connections, which is just that. I like networking. I bring together networking, small event groups, and I'm an artist. So I bring art and networking together. And so what's really fun is art came about because, well, I was burned out. So this topic seemed perfectly suited for me. I want to start by introducing our panel, and I'm not going to do them any justice. We have quite an esteemed panel up here, so I'm just going to start with you, Jen, if you wouldn't mind. Just a little introduction.
Is this working? Okay. Thank you for having me, everyone. Jen Feldman Designs. I am a West Side Los Angeles designer, but work nationwide, and very happy to be here.
Hello. Hi. Thank you for having me. My name is Sarah Ackberry with Sarah Ackberry Interiors, and I too am a West Side interior designer, but working nationwide. It's an honor to be here today, and I look forward to talking about this. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Is this on? How's it on now? Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Ufferman with Loxy Design. We're a design firm in San Francisco and also Sacramento area. We focus on residential designs, and we're recently taking on sort of a new venture where we're trying to explore bed and breakfast areas as well too. So we're moving into the hospitality area. So we're really excited about that. And I'm really excited to be here. And these women are spectacular and you're going to love this. So buckle up.
My name is Kim. Hello. My name is Kim Gordon, and I'm with Kim Gordon Designs. And I cannot tell you how excited I am to kind of share the ideas and these feelings about burnout, because I think especially after, I don't know, after COVID and after everything, it's just, I mean, everything, the fires, it was really time. And it just feels like sometimes I look at work and I just walk in and it's hard to get inspired again. It's hard to be, and clients are confused, and it's just kind of a wacky time. So I'm really looking forward to hearing how you guys.
I'm a residential maximalist artist in San Diego, and I specialize in creating colorful maximalist artistic spaces.
Obviously. Fabulous.
We have a pretty fabulous panel. Let's just acknowledge that. All right, let's dive in. So today's topic really is about creative burnout. The rules for surviving and thriving. And okay, before we have these folks talk about how they're doing it, just some hands. How many of you feel like you're nearing, there are days where you're like burned out? Let's see. Anybody? All right. How many of you feel like you're burned out all the time? Perfect. All right. So we've got some folks who could use some education. I love that. All right. So, Sarah, we're going to start with you. So, there is this kind of invisible weight that's holding all of us down. How are you getting rid of that weight? What are you doing to make to really get out of that weight that's pulling us down?
Well, the first thing is I vent to my husband. Good. But no, for me, the biggest thing for me is prioritizing myself. In my work week, I have to put a certain amount of hours for me just to do the things that make me feel good, make me feel confident, allow me to go out there and be the best designer, to approach my clients. So for me, prioritizing my workouts, making sure that I get my nails done, get my roots done, things like that. Those put me in a state where I can come in and start the day and guide my team. So I really have to, because weekends are very busy with family and your kids and your friends. You want to have some sort of social life. So during the week, I need to set boundaries within my work week for myself, and that allows me to collect my thoughts and just get better prepared.
Mike, when I was kind of learning a little bit more about you, tell me about you. Tell me about how you're getting rid of your invisible weight. Because like you, I complain to my husband, who at some point goes, yeah, cut it. But I don't take the time to get my roots done and get my nails done like I should. How are you doing it, Mike? What are you doing?
I cry a lot.
Crying's good. It's cathartic.
I do a lot of crying. What do I do? I hired a business coach a couple of years ago, which really changed everything about our practice and what we do and how we do it. It's not an inexpensive thing to do. I'm not going to lie about that. It's an investment. But it's one of those investments that allow me to sleep better at night, because she's guiding me on the principles and the processes, and she's looking at everything that we do right, and we're emphasizing that, and she looks at things that we're not doing right as well too and calls those things out. So by correcting those and creating processes around that really sort of solidifies what we're doing in the company to alleviate some of that pressure that we've got.
That's fantastic. Anybody else doing anything like that?
Am I on? Sorry, I've never known. I admire and feel like I would love to even say there's a solution. I think I'm coming in more from a realist approach. I don't know that it's something to negate. I think one of the things I've come to terms with this year with the fires, and we're all coming off of this amazing surge from post-pandemic where I think our industry's exploded, and these huge increases in what we were doing and staffing and all the things. And for a lot of us that have staff, I think this idea, even for me, and it was so baby step small, but I realize I'm not a morning person. I really like to be home in the morning for a minute with the dog and my coffee and getting my kids out the door. And my staff leaves at 5:30 on the dot, and whether I like it or not, they get up and go. And I give myself at least an hour. I'm thrilled that they leave, and I say from 5:30 to 6:30 or 6:45, I just have my time in the office to at least like do 3 things I didn't do because everybody was talking, or I at least like clear my head before I put on my hat of going home and trying to be whole in whatever way that is for my family that night and some Trader Joe's reheated dinner. But I think there's just so much that we're all trying to do and do it well, and I think I realized if I try to do it large, I probably will fail, and then I feel over committed. So just the smallest things and getting nails done, but taking the time for ourselves in just whatever way we can find it has really helped me mentally feel like I can reset throughout the chaos that is unarguably going to stay in all of our lives to some degree.
I think this is a new normal. Rachel, what about you?
Well, this might be TMI, but therapy. And one of the things I was struggling with, sort of, creative burnout for me just kind of looked like I was kind of flatlining. You know, there wasn't like any real joy in what I was doing, and I found out that I was kind of tying my self-worth to productivity. Probably anybody. So the more productive I was, the you know, I just felt like, oh, okay, really productive and really happy about that. But I was forgetting that I was human, and you know, sometimes at the end of the day, and I haven't had a sip of water or you know anything like that. So I really started taking my creativity and making it like it's the business asset. I'm a small firm, so I had to really honor it more, and that was sort of the path that led me there.
All right, Kim. There's therapy. There's yelling at your husband. There's probably some illegal substance. Talk to me. What are you doing? What are you doing to...
You know, I have to say that for me, it had to be travel. Like, there was something about, I guess taking care of myself, of course, right? Because that's kind of normal. But I really needed to understand more about, like, reading more and getting out there more and seeing what are other countries doing, what are other people doing, what's going on in design. I sort of went deep in the research, and then I tightened up our team. I'm with this glorious woman here, Julia, and we've gotten a little bit more about working out in the planet more a little bit, and I have to say that it's changed everything. When I started to see how other people are, I don't want to say suffering, but going through it, and then traveling around, I went to Morocco, and I've been to some really cool places, and I went alone, which was a little crazy, but I loved it, to France. It was amazing. And I know I didn't find anybody hot to have sex with, but you know, I did go there, and it was fun. But I should have. I mean, I was there alone. But anyway, but to say that, I have to say that but really getting out there and seeing things and reading and getting back into magazines, it was like I had to get tighter again. Like I had to get, like you said, right? Like I had to get smaller. I had to just kind of go like, what? And even now, I don't know where to go with the company and what does it mean? You know, as you start moving on, you're like, if we talk about one more door handle for like an hour, I'm gonna probably not, I might blow my brains out, right? Like honestly, like, right? I mean, and you know, one of the things, and Josh will tell you, one of the things we thought about was how do we bring a theme, kind of like a little theme, right, Josh, to the whole thing. And we thought about the forest through the trees, this idea of we're so tight looking, and that's, I think, where burnout happens, right? The burnout is because it's right here, like, oh my God, this client or this such and such. But it's really what is the forest. And for me, like yourself, I came from an artist background, so to remember, oh my God, I'm building a space for people to make children in. We're making environments that people were dating, then they wanted to get married, and they wanted, how much cooler is that, by the way? In this Morocco, getting my pocket picked, or whatever's going on, not getting laid. And while that was happening, I literally was like, wait a minute, you're making places, spaces, environments, homes. Oh my God. Like, stop. Like, and so that's how I got there. Anyway, yeah.
Please.
Well, the thing to add on to that is I think so much of our job and the reason why clients come to us is to have experience to lead them, and many days I say we're just better professional guessers than the clients.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Psychics.
I think this reminder to them that it's the sum of all the parts and it's a holistic process, and when you have a partner that you can really trust in a design forum, you know, the door handle just shouldn't matter. Like, we should be the ones that should say it's A or B, or we've guided it to a certain degree, and like, save your energy to the things that are more
The big
important to you
picture,
or more
the-
valuable
right,
to
yes.
you. Let me deal with this. Why are we losing our marbles over the door handle? We've just lost an hour, and now I don't have that hour for you anymore, client. And so they're, you know, it's the world that's shaken our clients to give them more empowerment, that they know more, because the internet, I think
they know more.
they do. And I think, you know, this comfortably uncomfortable place of saying, look, I know you may not get it now, but that's why we have these jobs. We have the superpower of seeing how it all can come
big
together.
picture, right?
Just let us do this so that you can actually pick something that you will find more joy in,
Right.
you know, at the end of it. And it's a struggle. It's a very common thread that I'm seeing.
And you know, they're burnt out too, right? I mean, our clients are also really burnt out, and they're constantly looking at magazines and news, and gosh, you know, HGTV and how to flip it and whatever, you know, all of that. I mean, they get like, oh my God, I should make it like this, you know, or whatever, and you know how that turns us around. It's hard. And I was so impressed with our phone call. You have got the coolest contract stuff. The way that he picks clients and stuff, you guys, is fascinating, and that really helps. You'll get in there.
So, yep, you and I, we're on the same.
Oh, yeah,
we're
girl, I
there.
see you.
We want to pick your brain, Mike. Bring us your brain. Bring us your
You should
brain.
have heard him on the phone.
I want to talk about
Yeah.
how you set up your own boundaries.
Ooh, there you go. Very
How-
good.
You talked about boundaries.
Yeah.
And it was a big conversation.
Yeah.
Tell me how you set up those boundaries, because you've been able to travel and you've been able to get nails that everybody's finding. How do you set that boundary so then you get these things?
Right. Well, first off, you have to have your team in place.
Okay.
And everybody on your team needs to know what their roles are. So that's first and foremost. I take all of our discovery calls with our clients. So I'm the first line of defense for the rest of my team with a client, literally. I always tell everybody, I'm interviewing you just as much as you are interviewing me for this job. I don't have to take on this project if it doesn't feel like a fit.
Do you say that on the first
I
phone call?
absolutely do.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit, okay.
And I will tell a client that I can tell within the first 5 minutes of whether I'm interested in working with you or someone from my team is capable of working with you. So I set that boundary up front very quickly. I've lost a
We're all
project
kind of
or two.
impressed.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I
fantastic.
I'll talk about a project I just turned down as well too. This was I'm going to brag a bit about this house.
You've been bragging the whole time. Go ahead.
14,000 square foot house in southern, the peninsula area in San Francisco. Couple called me and said, I need you over the house very quickly. We're making decisions. We don't have a designer and we need to know what we're doing. And I went over, it's an hour and a half from our office. So I drove over to their house free because this was going to be a very large project for us. And I was in the house for probably 15 minutes, and the wife asked me my name 3 times. And that was a huge red flag for me. I took my time to come down and advise you on whether or not we could work together, give you some advice about your house, and you couldn't remember my name and ask me 3 times about it. This was $1 million project. This is not a small project. This is a big project. So I came back and I talked to my business partner about it, and I said, look, I don't want to color this for you. I want you to have this from a clear perspective. It's a good project. It will make us a lot of money. Here are the red flags that I'm seeing. Do we want to do this project?
Is it just the part where she didn't know your name, or was it some other thing?
It was other than that. You know, that was part of who she was, but part of it was she had her phone and she had samples that she was ready to pick. And I'll be rude for a second. She was going, what about this one? What about this one? Should I use this one? And how should I run this up the wall? And I had to remind her, this is a discovery conversation we're having. I'm not here to
Did you say
pick
that to
your,
her? So
yeah.
you said that to her.
She was not taking no for an answer. That's how she was.
So she's doing this. She's like me, and so she's going like this, and she's showing you, and you're just like,
Yeah, I
Like,
said
wait a
we'll,
minute.
I said we will talk about that once we're in contract. But right now, we're trying to decide whether or not I can even help you with this project or not.
That's awesome.
It's that dating component. I think we were talking about that in the Zoom of like, we are businesses of service. Clearly, that's what we are here and outlined to do. But it is, we've worked to get to these moments in time where it should be equally compatible.
Yeah.
And it's a really brave thing to say no to. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's probably
Did you get
trusting
that from your
gut.
coach, by the way, or is that something you already did?
You know, I think a little bit of both. I think some of that comes from, I think when you're younger in your career, like everyone wants to say yes. Like you don't want to turn down a job. Like, yes, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it. And then you're like, am I allowed to cuss? Like, how the hell am I going to do this? And a lot of
the hell to
times,
cuss?
it's the hell part of it, yeah. There was a lot of times where we took projects, and I'll tell you, clients with smaller projects are the ones that bark the loudest. They think they require the same level of detail that a multi-million-dollar project does because they've hired us. So if you're small and you're trying to like get started on your business and you have to say yes, my advice is set very clear boundaries from the very beginning. Be firm with that client and say, here's what I will do and here's what I will not do for this project. Do you still want to work together? It will be 2 rounds of revisions, and that's all we're going to do. You cannot call me at 6 o'clock and Saturday afternoon and text me 4 times. You can, and I will respond to you on Monday morning.
Yeah.
When you get a little later into your career, which fortunately we are right now, you get to pick and choose your clients a little bit better. You get to spend a little more time figuring out who they are. So it's during that time that really makes sense for you to say, yes, this is a good project for us, and here's why it might not be a good project for us.
You're exactly right. And to add to that, when you meet with a client, you're vetting them. So you really need to ask the right questions, really understand, have they worked with a designer before? Have they not? Have they had a good experience? Have they had a bad experience? Just asking them the right questions really will allow you to read, is this going to be a good fit? And a huge part of it is educating the clients. This whole process is constantly teaching them. I always say, you're going to be a great designer when we're done with this house. Like, you're going to learn so much. So it's really important to give them the tools and really show them why we are here, because we've been doing this for a long time. We've gotten to a place where we know what is best for them. And we're also conscious of their wallet. We're not trying to just make them spend all this money, but we want to give them good design and a design that's long-lasting. And you have to build that trust, obviously. It takes time. But you really have to educate them from the beginning.
Yeah, and that's actually probably keeps you from being burnt out. Like if you're picking the right clients and they're really respecting you in your space, that would help a lot. You must not need massages or nails ever.
No, I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But finding the right client is the key to success. Like, it really is. A small brag is in Interiors Magazine, which is right here. A couple of months ago, they had a submission form for a couple of awards that they had. And they called me a month ago and said, hey, you've won one of the awards. You won Best Traditional Residence. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. And we flew down to LA last week and accepted the award. And at the end of the night, the point of that is that project ideal client. That client said from the very beginning, let's play. Let's have fun. Turn my house into a little rock and roll haven for us. And my entire team worked tirelessly on this project to get that kind of recognition. So it is finding that right client. It really makes all the difference.
And I think we all work harder when the client is there to say, oh my God, you trust. I had a very funny, but this dentist client who was interviewing me, and I could tell right away we had a nice rapport, but he said, look, you're never going to tell me how to do a root canal. Like, I'm definitely not going to tell you what to do with this room. And I was like, yeah, like, I'm definitely not telling you how to do a root canal. So
I'm not going to ask them what
that's
tools they're
really
using.
a nice analogy, and I've used it.
I would have grabbed that.
Well, and those are the things that you look for when you're hiring a client. Like, they're keywords that you're looking for, right? I just had another client that said, hey, look, I'm an attorney. Like, I will do that. I don't know what I'm doing over here. Leave it to the professionals. That's why I'm hiring you. And that's music to my ears. That's why I hired you. I'm leaving it to you.
That's a respect, a green flag of respect.
What about you, Rachel? Where are you in all of this? Do you ever fire clients or say, yeah, it's not happening?
Well, I do. I hear a lot of designers say this when they are interviewed on podcasts. do they offer me some tea? Do they offer me a glass of water? Like that's the first like level, because we are going to be working for a couple of years. Secondly, is it the type of project that I like to work on? Because I like color and I like pattern and layers and storytelling. And
You, color, pattern, and layers?
that is energy giving for me, because then I can go out and I can go digging for, for fabrics and wallpaper and paint samples and tile, and that gives me a lot of energy, because there's, of course, there's the implementation, which, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I like to choose projects that give me energy instead of deplete.
All right, so have any of you had that client that you got super deep and you just had to cut it because they were depleting you? There's a big yes out of you, Jen. I see that head. Oh yeah, that was a yes.
I'm happy to say I could count on one hand, like the ones that have been that bad, but one was such a hoarder, and it was just so sad that it was just always a blame situation. And I think those are just sad and hard, really, really hard emotionally to navigate when you just know there's never going to be any winning in it. And I look back in earlier things in my career, and we all get to these stepping stones where I think we've just kind of earned our stature in it to be able to say, maybe this isn't right, or have the bravery to say it in the beginning. And I think anytime I've been in that situation, it's deep down inside I've known it wasn't going to be right. I just, I'm an optimist, and I see the best in people, but that doesn't always mean it's the best for us. And that's such a huge part of the depletion part of it. When
And that's
we
where
know
those
we've
boundaries
overgiven.
come in, right? Like
We
what
knew
he's
it was never
Yeah.
right, but the money or the what,
It's
the
the
whatever,
boundaries
or we
and the
thought we
letting
were going
go.
to change it. Yeah.
Letting go,
Yeah.
boundaries.
But you got to get that. We also have
Yeah.
to be able to pay the rent, right? So it's like when is that? Like that's
Well,
the
and you
whole
also
thing.
have to have the battle scars in order to set up the boundaries. Like you have had to have gone through like a series of clients who weren't ideal for you, and you've had to pull the plug on that. We've done it ourselves. It's not easy to do, to tell a client this isn't the right fit. You've taken a lot of their money already. You've presented what you can with them, and it's just not landing for you. So being able to tell a client no is difficult, but it does start to create that boundary building that you all need to have in your practices.
And that's going to keep you from being sad and having a bad weekend, right? Because you
Yeah.
have that.
So Kim, you talked about travel, and it kind of filled your cup back up. What fills your cup back up, Rachel? What makes you happy?
Feathers.
Lots and lots of feathers.
When I started, so I was very much a DIYer. I loved treasure hunting for vintage estate sales. And the busier I got, the more I got away from those passions. And so it was really finding my way back to doing some of that. And Julie Ireland, thank you. I did some art in High Point with feathers, surprisingly, and fabrics, and she had me do some art for the Connoisseurs Lounge. But just getting in and working with my hands and doing some of that, like how I started, is also really energy giving right now.
I was going to say,
I always have something
Please,
to say, but
please.
I feel like there's this refueling that we all like. We're so structured. We have to be so disciplined to do what we do, but to be a creative and use every best practice, but do it uniquely for our clients. I mean, we're always toggling with the fixed and the flexible of these things, but I think I'm such a structured person and always on a schedule, whatever it is, going to Round Top, Texas. If any of you have gone recently, it's just a mecca heaven for people built like us. And I think I've learned to give myself time to get lost within the areas that I know I need to be found in, or I know I'm here for the right reason, but like, just give me an hour to do something that I just make the left turn and go in a different aisle and see something new and give ourselves time to explore within the structure of how we know we want to be so accomplished, and perfectionism of, we all carry so much of those traits to be able to do this job. And I think I've allowed myself that freedom of like, just get a little loose and don't have it so overly planned, and the best things end up coming out of that.
what about you, Sarah?
Well, travel is great. I love travel. It really just re-energizes and refuels my soul. But sometimes just honestly, like leaving the office and just going to some showrooms that I never get to go to because I'm always either sending out my team or asking reps and they're sending stuff over. So just being able to go to, like the other day I went to Carpenter's Workshop Gallery and Future Perfect and I took my assistant. I'm like, let's go get inspiration. And it was just so fun because I was like, wow, I feel like I'm doing what I was doing when I was younger as a designer. Now I'm like just managing everything and from job site visits. It's just giving me more inspiration. It allows me to get out and just see what's out there because we have less and less showrooms to even visit.
Okay, so let's take 2 seconds to acknowledge that because of WestEdge Design Fair, all of us in this room have taken time out. We're filling our cups back up. We're finding the art. We're finding the creativity. That's what this gives us. This is a perfect opportunity too.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, WestEdge. That's our plug for WestEdge. Tell me, how are you selling hope? On one of our calls, you talked about hope. And as designers, you're not only selling your vision, but to a lot of families out there, you're selling something else. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing that fills your cup, but also helps others.
I mean, I'm kind of a I don't know, an extroverted, introverted kind of weirdo, but for me, it feels like connecting with people, and it sounds kind of like, bleh, but connecting with everybody around and laughing and having fun and lifting people up and taking that time with humans is really what fuels me. I think that's actually my superpower, is this idea of, and I won't say that about anything, by the way, but the idea of being able to connect with people and be able to touch and just sort of be there, this to me grounds me, and it makes me feel like I'm part of a bigger thing. And I know some people aren't comfortable with that. They can't always touch. They can't accept touch, so I respect that, and it's true. But this is also where boundaries are, and I'm really bad at them. Do this? Okay, great.
We're quoting you, and it's your selling hope. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, going back to the idea of these people that are meet and they wanted to get a home together and now they're going to have a life together. That is hope already, right? They've already bought into the idea of let's get together, let's put our money together, and let's get this house. It looks kind of okay. The area's nice. Now we need somebody to kind of zhuzh it and help us decide what we are as a couple. And when you think about, I'm just using that as by the way, right? But the idea is that you're getting together with 2 different humans and they each have a different idea of what home might be. And our job is to do it. And within that is hope and faith, right? Because we're coming in there like, you guys are together, let's do this. And so in the meantime, you're kind of listening to what she or he likes and what she and he likes, and you kind of do that magic sauce and you put it together. And I think within that and with passion and with, I don't know, hope. That's, I guess, what...
Yeah, and intention, too. I think much of... I always joke that movie Avatar, which I do love it. It's very long. But I joke all the time, and it's not really a joke even, that at some point you start to wear your client's skin and authentically start to make the decisions that they either don't know how to articulate or you're one step ahead of them, which I like to think we have that ability to be.
We see who they are, right? Like you give them book collections and you do things that they can
authentically
see
that feels like if they cared, they would do that, to a house of intention and a house that has integrity. Our jobs are to use every best practice we have, but to do it uniquely for every client. And sometimes it's a little weirder and sometimes it's a little like, didn't see that one coming. And sometimes it's like, I knew this was happening and they just didn't know it themselves yet. And that discovery, I think, for all of us,
you finished
keeps
that.
us
That was awesome.
So engaged in the wins, because when they realize it for themselves, and I always say the same thing when a client gets to the door of a reveal day, and I said, do you know what you're, like, do you know what it's going to look like? And most of them are like, you've sold me up the river. Like, I have no idea. It was so long ago, it was this, and then when they say, oh my God, it was better than I ever thought it would feel.
That's great.
We have 30 seconds to crystallize that feeling for them when they open a door, and whether it's the smell or the music or the, way the lights are dimmed. And a client once said to me, she goes, nothing's like an accident with you. And I said, nothing's an accident. Like, we are thinking about everything for their experience to feel authentic and hopeful and trusted. And I always leave with the same note, like, I'm so happy you're happy, and thank you for trusting me, because I knew I was leaping. If I listened to every client that said no, I would be out of business. Well, and we all have to take that risk.
Absolutely. But so now you've put yourself out, all of yourself. I mean, you've been grinding. You've been down to the lighting the candles and go, God, there's a speck of water on the faucet. It's all gone. You're there. How do you avoid the burnout feel? Yes, you feel good and empowered, but you still drive home, and the reality is you're depleted. You gave all of you to these people. What's getting you that next step?
That's what got it. That's what got it. Might be tired, but that joy, that
high.
day, that reveal,
it is a drug.
You know, that's it.
You're
that
so
reveal
proud
is the
when it's
best part.
over,
Yeah.
right? Oh my God. And you do that reveal. I mean, that is just, literally nothing else mattered.
And then they'll call you and they'll say, oh my God, our friends came over, they love this. And you just keep hearing it, and that just feeds your soul. You're
the
just so
validation
excited.
of it and the acknowledgement that I understand it now. I think when you become seasoned in this business, you're not going to get that until the end, and that's okay, because I
Big
know
point.
Right.
it can't be realized. It's just not possible for them to realize it. And when we get the chance to all design holistically, and you really get to control the experience for them, they do come to the other side and go, and that's why I always say thank you for trusting me, because I know you couldn't understand it, but I knew you would. And it's a lot of gratis for us, because there's a lot of days we get beat up in the middle.
Right? That's the day you feel wonderful. That's the day you feel wonderful.
So basically, we have to work super hard all the time. We don't get to burn out. Burnout's not an option. But our cup is full while we please our clients. No. Okay, I know it does feel good, but what makes you feel good at the end of the day? You've helped your client. What are you going to do for you? Do you do any outside of therapy, which I'm a big therapy girl. I believe in it.
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you do to kind of rejuvenate? What are you doing professionally or wellness wise?
So for me, we're so lucky. We live so close to the ocean here in Southern California, and really one of my things is, grounding. I didn't realize how energy giving it was to take your shoes off and really intentionally walk and kind of take up that energy. And so that's one of my sort of rituals. There was a book called The Artist's Way. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, where you take yourself on artist dates. So I have in my notes app a list, just so I don't have to pre-think about it, like, which museums are free on this day, and what, just so whenever I love a cancellation. So if I have an hour, I'm like looking at, and so I do something, or go see a new cafe or restaurant or something like that. I'm always just searching out inspiration.
That's fantastic. I love that. Do you do that as well?
Yeah, very much so. It's when we were talking a minute ago about going to the showrooms. It's like, and Julia's always making fun of me about this, because I'll always say the same thing. We can go to San Diego. Wonder what restaurants they have there. Let's find a really cool lobby, because I love a lobby.
Hotel lobbies.
Oh my God, lobby.
bathroom.
It's like nobody lives there permanently.
Oh my God.
And
everyone's
everything
nice.
can happen.
They're all nice, and they got good, you can get good food, and the waiters are super nice. You could be there for hours. You could plug your phone in. Oh my God, I love a lobby.
I was like under a chair in a restaurant, like looking at a tag, and the waiter was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm perfect. I'm just seeing what the brand is on this chair, because it's so good." And that's the getting out into the world, and when we go to those places that are inspiring.
Yeah, very much so.
All right, Sarah, you're in LA. Are you doing these things? What are you doing?
Oh yeah, I have to say, I love going out to dinner at a nice, good restaurant because after a long day, I just don't want to cook. So I always want to try new places, and I just always love the beautiful design that I see in these beautiful restaurants, and just the use of color and materials. And the restaurant game in LA is pretty amazing. We have some great restaurants and always opening. So that is just a creative outlet. another thing is magazines. I have a ton of them. They come every month, but I don't always get the chance to go through. So if I have a moment or an afternoon, I'm just sitting there with all my magazines and going through, and I'm tearing them out, putting them on my pin board. I mean, that's the creativity that I need.
Our magazine friends are very excited to hear that we all still love magazines, because magazines really are pretty fabulous.
Magazines are the best things, honestly. We should just light a candle for magazines. I mean,
Mike, you were telling me a little bit about magazines and kind of the feel. Can you elaborate? We were chatting about it earlier. How you feel about magazines and kind of that feeling when you see yourself published in it?
It's exciting, for sure. And there's a moment where you try to share that excitement without feeling like you're bragging about it. But what I always tell people is, like, never be afraid to, like, submit for projects. Never be afraid to. I've got really good friends, I think one or two of them in here, who are magazine editors. And I have great relationships with them. It's really deeply ingrained in me. It's where we get a lot of inspiration from still, even though it's a one-page ad for a monogram. That medium, to tell you this, on a computer all day, is one of my favorite things to do.
I would have to agree.
may I interject? I want to interject about this, because the thing about magazines, I think, that also makes it so special is that we spontaneously trip over them like the flea markets. You don't even know what you're going to find in a magazine. We were talking a little while ago when we were sitting here talking about the fact that if you've got a client, for instance, that has a Spanish home, you're stuck in that glitch, right? You're stuck, and everything around you, Google, whatever the hell, is all like, you're in a Spanish house. These are the cool. You're like, no, actually, now I've got like a rock and roll modern dude, and he's a rock star. So how am I going to, and all you do is just kind of go back to the magazines or try to trick it's very interesting. And I only get that from magazines.
Yeah, that's really true. Like, we get stuck in these algorithms that we're looking at Instagram.
And by the way, our clients are in there too.
And we are all very tactile people. Touching and feeling things is our job, and it's what we have to nurture to do our jobs authentically. And I'm a 90s like PR girl turned interior designer, and magazines were just the top of the ladder for anything, and the respect of the editorial process. I think for all of us, we have that lens of knowing our projects and the way we photograph and looking at them editorially. At least I've always had that point of view, and magazines stay. They don't disappear in a story, and they don't, get taken off a scroll of somebody's feed that goes down. And I think there's such a pride in seeing a page that you've been able to be a part of. And I
mean, how else do you do your vision board?
No, I know.
It's true.
Tearing it.
We're from the 90s.
There's also something really fun about this incessant need to please your parents somehow, and them being proud of you. And then showing them that you've been published in magazines, longing for that recognition of, I'm proud of you, boy, I'm proud of you, son, like, good job. So that there's that where I can get published and I can send a copy to my mom and have her show it to her friends and be proud of
we
her.
think that too, right? Because if you're working with a PR person and they're like, you're an Architectural Digest, online or print. Right? And you're like, it was online. Oh, okay, that's fine.
But it's also so important to have that. It's such a prize. You feel so accomplished, and honestly, it helps with the boundaries with the clients. They're like, okay, she knows what she's doing.
It's interesting that we've talked about the algorithm, because by reading magazines, you're giving that right side of your brain that relaxing time. You're decompressing. You're kind of breaking that visual stress, and you're able to old-fashioned tear pages out. Let's talk about the algorithms. Have you all noticed those crazy algorithms lately? You're not kidding. You walk into a Spanish home, all of a sudden your entire feed is geared towards where you are. I made the mistake, silly me, I'm a mom, and my daughter said, can we do Cricut ornaments? Like the Cricut machine? Dear God, people, why is my entire feed arts and crafts on the Cricut machine? And I can't get them to stop. So is this what's happening to our clients? Is this what's happening to us?
Yeah, and 100%. I wake up in the mornings and I just have like the same style just sent to me on DMs for my clients. And I'm just like, okay,
the light
we'll
that I
address this
just
tomorrow.
was looking at Rejuvenation is like all of a sudden the ad on the phone right in front of you. It's very
in between the stories.
bizarre.
Yeah.
But it is the future. It is what's happening.
It is.
You know what I
So
mean? There's
how
got to
are,
be.
how are we going to avoid getting stuck in that trap that's going to burn us out because it's here? We're using the top technologies. So is it putting up boundaries? Is it finding our happy and going to museums? It sounds like it's all of those things.
Yeah, it's definitely the plural of everything that we're talking about
Balance
here.
of it
Yeah.
all.
Balance.
I,
Balance.
I'd love us all to be able to like go back to flip phones of just like actually using the phone for a call.
I mean, it's us though, right? It's us. We're the ones doing it.
And it's
So-
just we feed this, and there's so many beautiful things that have come out of it, and will continue to, and safety in our families, and all the great things that a phone and technology can do. But a lot of ways, I wish it was back to that. Like I remember when I got like a phone in the car, and I could only like. My dad was like, "Don't you ever use it unless it's a total emergency, because it'll be like $100 a minute." But like, it was there for security, but it wasn't our lifeline. Like we lived, we were doing, we were seeing, we were exploring, and nobody was tracking us. And it was a great thing to have had that our kids and
This is what's so sad, because this is it, and we have to figure out.
That's that kind
and
of-
that's where artists come in, right? This is
Yeah.
where to kind of look at it. How do we do it? We are supposed to be the leaders, right? Like we're supposed to be looking at it. So how do we do it? And going back to magazines, that's like literally the only thing I could think about right now that gives you that spontaneity. You know, like I can't actually, or going shopping or traveling. You know, oh, I didn't even know this. Oh my
the
God,
surprise.
right? The surprise, because really, when we're doing a home, and you're like you said before, you're carrying your client's energy in you. You're sort of wearing a pair of sunglasses, and it's filtering what your person likes, and you're just walking around going, oh, they would love that, or, you know, she is this person. You know what I mean? She would love this in her room.
There's part of that too where your clients are getting ahead of you in your technology a lot of times. In Northern California, I don't know what it's like down here, but our clients are challenging up there sometimes. They push you really hard. And I'll give you an example where I've got a client who's a friend of mine, and we're designing an outdoor kitchen with an intricate pizza oven. I picked a Neolith countertop for it and had this suggestion of using the remnants from the countertop to do the doors on the outside. And I gave him a couple options for like what the structure of the oven could look like. And 5 minutes later, he sent it back to me. He's like, "Is this what you're talking about?" And he had fully rendered the pizza oven set that I had done. And he's like, "Yeah, there's a program called Google Banana, Nano Banana. I did it in 5 minutes." So now my team is scurrying around to learn Nano Banana to stay ahead of our clients, who are very well informed these days.
Okay, Nana Banana. Curious. Anyone else heard of this? Okay. All right. Well, we learned something. Some of us learned something new today.
They come up with it. They actually come over. Like we have clients that'll just come, you know, or particularly one, and we'll just say, "We love this rug," and she'll immediately, I mean, in minutes, like she'll just come back and say, "Oh, I like the way it looks," and you're like what? Oh,
And
I knew
also
that. I knew it looked good.
The Google reverse image search is a killer as well too. It's
I know.
a killer.
But I like to do it with people's shoes. Like I'll be sitting in line and I'll see somebody with really cool shoes, and I'm not joking. I photograph strangers. Well,
Especially
that
with the
reverse
zoom on
Google,
the camera.
and I buy those shoes right there in my size, standing in line.
I think it comes back.
No time for burnout. You
No
don't
time
have
for
to go to the
burnout,
store.
no.
Instant gratification,
I'm just like,
and you're
ooh.
happy.
Yeah, all I was going to say is that I think this all comes back full circle to what the first question was, which is like, it's not, there's no like black or white answer to any of it, and there's no stopping it. And, you know, for any of us who have teenagers, like, I just can't believe how fast they can solve. My 18-year-old son said, "Look at this video I did." And I said, how did you even who taught you? And he goes, "I watched a YouTube video and I did it." And this speed of life, that it's all happening when we are truly in a craft and an art that is so, again, back to tactile, and our physical touch to everything is so, it's a seesaw of balance every day of what, you know, technology gives us. That's a gift, CAD, and all the wonderful things that we can do. How did houses get done before that stuff? And then it's fueling ourselves and finding, you know, the quiet moments, the small staycations, the small things that just allow you to get off the grid without a huge back, really uncharted.
And I have to say that I ask anything, right? But it's not just AI. It's just how do you intuit something, and I'm not saying it's better or not, trust me. I mean, I just know that we can't very well be, afraid of Elvis the pelvis. I mean, it's here, right? Like, it's here. So I'm curious. I have no idea. That might be your next panel. Like, what's going on? Like, seriously.
Yeah, it is crazy. I think the biggest thing, though, that is hard, and personally I find it, I don't know if all of you find it, is putting the cell phone down. You tell yourself, I'm going to give myself an hour. I'm not going to look at my cell phone. You put it down, and 2 minutes later you go, oh, wait, I got to buy XYZ on Amazon, and crap, I forgot I needed to do a post office. I'll go. And next thing you know, you're back on your Zoom scrolling again. And you're like, wait, I just told myself no. I'm struggling with this. Unless one of you has a brilliant... My husband told me the other day, leave the phone in the garage. Put it in another room. Walk away. And I was like, but I'll just find myself doom scrolling out in the garage.
So my partner and I bought a lockbox that's coded, and you can set it for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. And on Friday nights, we used to put the phone in the lockbox and lock it for 4 hours, so you couldn't sneak out into the garage and grab it. And that was the time.
So who has the codes?
No one. It's
do you have each other's
No,
codes?
it's a countdown code. So it gives you 4 hours. It's an alarm, and in 4 hours it opens up and you can use it.
But what happens? We have an emergency and we need to buy something right then and
Those
there.
damn shoes.
Those cute shoes I saw online.
Just Googled them.
All right, so we brought up a ton of points. And this is the time that I want to allow all of you who have carved time out of your day to ask these esteemed panelists any questions. So my dear friend Josh Cooperman will officially become Vanna White, and he will run around with
Vanna
a microphone.
Gray.
We've got some pretty awesome panelists. Any questions out there that you guys want to ask? Oh, well, that's just no fun, because we'll just keep on talking up here, I'm sure.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
Do you want to see a designer hard reset? One word only.
Okay.
What is your reset? Where do you go when everything has gone to shit? Every project sucks. You don't want to talk to anybody. What is, in one word? Hold on. Oh, you got one. But hold on. One word. What's your reset? Each one of you.
Camping.
That's cute. Oh, travel. I guess anywhere. Just running away.
That wasn't one word.
Travel.
Travel. Okay.
Travel.
Sleep.
That's a good one.
I was going to say sleep, but spa also.
Flea market? I know it's not one word. Music.
Did you say music?
Music.
And mine's art. Art.
But you don't see it as work anymore?
Not at all. Interestingly enough, I never saw art as work before. And to me, art can be as simple as I've had a bad day. I'll literally grab a paint pen or a Sharpie and I'll walk to the park. I'll find a rock. I'll doodle on it and I'll leave that rock right there and leave.
That's where that rock came from.
I am that crazy rock, by the way. If you found that crazy rock, that might have been me.
Do we have any, did that inspire any? Oh, here we go.
Hello. Thank you all so much for your genuine answers and your time. My question is how do you navigate overwhelm and burnout? Hello. Okay, especially in like the beginning of building something, in the beginning of building your business, like was there a moment where you had to like rewire your mindset to allow yourself to grow, or do you just charge through until you get to build the final result?
Do you love it? Okay. So then you're okay.
And you're okay.
Just remember that some days are good and bad. And what you're feeling is not always. Sometimes it sucks. And sometimes it's actually fine. And sometimes it's awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you have to love it. But I often say to myself, will it matter in 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 years? And give yourself the permission to let go of the shorter answer stuff because I think we all get very overfixated that we have to solve it all the
The
time.
forest tree thing that we were talking about when we first
Yeah.
started, looking at the forest at all those stupid little, lovely details, and then but seeing a little bit further than that and going, this is what I want, and I love this, but I don't think we can do any of this without picking the right client. Right? I mean, it sounds, we have to make money though, so that's where it gets really glitchy because you're thinking, oh my God, I need to get this client. It's 14,000 square foot house. It's really hard, especially where you're saying you're starting out. Like it's hard, and then you have some bad client. Sometimes you have to say, maybe this isn't going to be bad. You know, I don't know if it's good or bad. It might actually be fine, but you have to.
I think too, when you're starting out, this job is a hustle. Like it is a hustle. We're not selling widgets on a shelf somewhere and making a quota. We're trying to figure out where our next client's going to come from. We've got books of creativity and vision boards and things that we're ready to present to a client at any given moment sometimes, but sometimes we don't have that client. So you got to know from the very beginning that this job is a hustle. And you've got to prepare yourself because you will be overwhelmed for quite some time. There's no way around that. You're going to be overwhelmed, and that's okay. Thrive in the overwhelm.
Or suffer,
Yeah.
but it'll pass.
You have to go through all of the ups and downs to understand how to give yourself the boundaries you need. It's the learning curve, and it's great because you'll never make a mistake. Once you make that mistake, you'll never do it again, and you'll add it in your contract, and you'll
That's exactly
another
it.
paragraph, and it will
Everyone
keep growing.
lands to the better silver lining.
Yeah. But if you love it, it's the best thing because, it's that gratification, that reveal with the clients, and they pick up the phone, they call back, and it's why you do it. So keep at it.
And maybe try to make it good. Like try to just kind of remember where they're coming from is important. A lot of empathy really matters, to kind of look at them and go, oh my God, they just gave me all this money and they trust me and I'm sounding like a freak right now, or I'm starting to get mad at them, whatever it is, 100 things. Don't let your burnout, I guess, affect them in a way, or if it does, just be like, just look at them. Just remember who they are as humans and just go, wow, this is also for
Well,
you.
and leave space for it. I think that's the other thing that everybody's like ignoring. Like you are going to be overwhelmed, and you're probably going to fail at something.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's like
yourself
my new
grace.
billboard that I need to get printed by a Cricut or something. Of like something will go wrong, and we will. Can I say a bad word? We will f up. We will fuck something up. But we're always gonna fix it, and we're always gonna find a solution, and we're always gonna be. We're all still gonna be winning. It's like the more you leave space for that, the more it won't surprise you and knock you out for longer than you need to feel it for,
We got one more over here.
Great, we've got one more question.
He bailed out. You answered it.
I love that we answered it. Any other questions out there? Okay, so our takeaways are we're going to all buy a box that we're going to lock our phones in, or at least I may go
send us the
to
link?
that thing, Amazon, and buy a box because I think that's pretty awesome. We're all going to try to remember boundaries. We're going to take some big lessons, cherish those times we're mired in the crap going. To you panelists, your vision, your wisdom, your words, thank you for sharing them with all of us. I thank all of you for taking the time out of your day to join us today. I think today's panel gave us all a little bit of inspiration and a little bit of reminder that we all deal with burnout. It's just how we end up on the other end stronger and better for it.
That's right.
Yeah, give him some love, please. First of all, Shannon, you killed it.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
You're so
I know.
awesome.
Aren't they
You're
great?
you're just the best, and I really appreciate it. Look, in all honesty and being totally serious for a minute, it takes a lot for those of you designers who have been on a panel before. It takes a lot to sit up there and be completely honest and vulnerable and give of your time and share your ideas and share your thoughts, because the moment you put it out there, someone else is going to use it, and sometimes it can get a little nefarious, but usually it's a good thing when you give back. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. Again, thank you for Thank you for your attention. Thank you to Pacific Sales Kitchen and Bath. You guys are incredible partners, and I really appreciate you. And thank you, Kim Gordon, because every year the design creates the vibe. And you have created an absolutely extraordinary vibe, and it's amazing. And I appreciate you very, very much. So, and thank you everyone for coming out. Enjoy the rest of the show. And remember, Convo by Design, so it comes out in January through March. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you, Sarah, Jen, Kim, Rachel, Mike, Shannon. Amazing conversation. Thank you to Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home, a Best Buy company, Best Buy, Geek Squad, Hisense, Kim Gordon Designs. Just amazing this year. Thank you, WestEdge Design Fair, for putting this all together and making this possible. And by the way, if you want to catch all of the episodes of WestEdge Wednesday, please make sure that you're subscribing to Convo by Design so you get all of the episodes automatically to your feed the day they're published. See you next time.